The team returns a bulk of the roster this year. How do you expect that, or how do you figure that to benefit the team this year?
I'm sorry, say that again.
The team returns a bulk of the roster this year. How do you expect that to benefit you guys this year?
Well, it's a combination. We're returning a younger team, but we have quite a few. We have 4 young new players too. So we're not the most experienced team in the world, but we do have some core players that we're going to be relying on, and that goes in practice every day. And we need those guys to bring those younger players along. So it's a learning journey for sure.
Brian, with 10 sophomores and freshmen, what is the process of building team chemistry and also implementing your system to try to build for this season in the future?
Well, you know, the chemistry is interesting. I think a lot of that has come from just recruiting and just bringing in really good kids. And that has gone a long way in our chemistry. And we've done very little of that as far as organization-wise, and it's at an all-time peak. What was the second part of your question, Shannon?
Yeah, just how do you implement like what you're teaching the players on the court into like just this new group?
I'm sorry. We've really had to simplify, and we focus on bigger points for longer periods of time. And we haven't moved along, haven't put in a lot of stuff, and that is allowing them. We're really trying to get them comfortable with what our main stuff is, and that's not always easy for young players. So we've had to keep it simple, and then just rep it and explain it and watch on video over and over again, and I think it's starting to sink in.
What have they picked up well so far? Like what, you know, you're finally getting everyone together, talking about your system. What have they come together and started to do really well so far?
Well, we're trying to and simplistically get better possessions through the course of a game. And we had a lot of all or nothing possessions last year, and we were in some really close games, and at the end of the game it didn't work out mathematically in our favor. So we're just trying to be more fundamental. We're trying to make better decisions. We're trying to make extra passes, things like that. And that is, they're getting there, but it's changing the way some of them, including T, likes to play. T likes to be explosive and attack all the time. So we're asking her to be a little bit more cerebral and slow down and not use so much energy. And they're starting to see it. You can see it in practice at times. And they're like, oh yeah, there it is. But now we just got we got to live by it instead of just doing it here or there.
This will be for T and Aaliyah. Just you guys bringing in a new group, trying to lead this group a little bit, your juniors. How does that feel for you? And what are you seeing in practice? What's your energy level like? And is this a fun time for you?
Yeah, no, you go first. No, you go. Can you ask the question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you guys are going to be the upperclassmen this year, so you brought a whole new group in. Is this a fun time for you to try to get everybody together, get them on the same page, and sort of lead this new group? What's it like for you?
I mean, yes, it's pretty fun. Like, this year we have a group of players who actually want to learn and who actually ask questions, so it's easier this year.
Yeah, I think as a sophomore and then as a freshman last year, I think we were kind of afraid to ask questions and didn't know who to ask questions to. So I think just having that perspective, I want to be like, I can answer questions for them and have the energy for them that they might not bring every day.
Talk about the chemistry of this team. Different people can do different things, so you've got sort of a chance to put a team together. Everybody can take a different role. So what's it like for you to have that type of personnel and some of that flexibility?
Well, we certainly have more weapons than we've had offensively, and we did our homework as a staff this year, and I think we tightened up, found an offense that finally fits all of our personnel. There's nobody within our offense who can't do some of the things we're talking. There's a role for everybody. And I think that's given everybody confidence. I think it's made it more fun for them and makes them feel more involved. So I think that's going to go a long way forward. You know, the last couple of years we've had different pieces who didn't quite fit with certain things. And then so you're kind of banging heads a little bit. We haven't had that yet. And like the players have said, they've been very open-minded about learning and trying to figure out what we're trying to get together.
Brian, Tierra Floyd had a long journey back from injury. So she was redshirted her freshman year and then had a medical disqualification last year?
Well, I don't think she was actually disqualified. She just was not on the roster.
Okay.
We had open space, so she was not disqualified, but she was not on the roster. But you're right, she has had a long journey.
So she showed a little what she can do with that three-point contest and Musketeer Madness.
Yep.
What are your expectations for her this year, and is she healthy?
Well, we had I met with her, I think, back in the spring, and we just talked about a couple things and how she was feeling. And then I said, think about it, start doing some things if you're interested. And then we met again in the summer, and she was coming along and felt like she could maybe play this year. Tiara's a great player. She was a great player. I mean, in high school, she was one of the best players in the country. And has redshirted, it seemed like, every year since she's been here. However you look at it, she's just missed time. And so our goal coming into this year was, let's see if we can't just have a good experience. You get something out of this, whether it's 5 or 10 minutes a game or it's 20 or 25. You get something out of this, we get something out of it, and we just write a better chapter than what happened in the previous couple years. So I think we're on that track. I don't know how many minutes she's going to play. Her conditioning is at a certain level and things like that. But Tiara is a great shooter. I think she made 2 threes in a scrimmage we had the other day against another team. And she has the one thing she hasn't lost is her trigger. She will fire it quickly. But she's just trying to work her way back, and we're just trying to have a good experience with each other as a team and her, and hopefully that happens.
For Aaliyah and T, last year was tough. I know it wasn't how you guys wanted to finish. There was stretches of long losses in a row. What do you take from that this year, and what gives you the confidence to know that you guys are going to be a different team heading into the season?
Like Coach Neal said, we have a lot of different weapons this year. We have people that can score, and then we also have people that can defend. So that aspect of it. And then last year we had glimpse of that we could be good. Like, for instance, the DePaul game where we tied up with them. Just that gives us motivation that we could be right there at the top with anybody.
I think our team chemistry will play a big role in that, and so our team chemistry this year is like way better. We're closer on and off the court, so.
I'll give you one. Looking down your roster, a little more size this year. So we've got 6'1", 6'2". How's that going to? First of all, nice to have that benefit, right? Mm-hmm. That's almost like 7 foot in women's basketball. So just talk about how nice it's going to be to play with a couple bigs.
Size is always good in basketball. No, I will tell you, I have historically have liked size, even at guard, especially at guard. And but these two are quickly changing my mind. They are very hard to contain. They're pests on defense. And last year I was reluctant to play the two of them together, which makes me not the smartest guy in the world. So we figured that out. But we are trying to get bigger. I think most basketball teams are trying to get bigger, but it has to be within a skill set. You can't just give up skill. And a big part of the reason I think we're on the climb is some of our bigger kids aren't 6'5", and they can shoot threes and drive it and things like that. So we're just getting some good basketball players. But the longer, the better. I think as long as you have that skill, the longer you are, the better. And hopefully we'll get there.
You guys feel good about throwing to big people? I mean,
yeah.
Is that a good part for you? You guys play big, though. You're small guys play big. I like that. And then just talk about going through the league again. DePaul obviously going to be very good. Marquette up there, but do you feel like you're more comfortable going through? I know you got a new group here, but more comfortable going through it another time, especially for you two?
I don't remember what your question was.
Talking about playing through the league again. You mentioned the DePaul game last year. You had a nice contention. Played well against Minnesota outside the league. So talk about going through it again this year. Do you guys feel more comfortable playing against the league?
I definitely feel more comfortable. Last year, I mean, I could keep using the term freshman, but after a while that goes away. So you kind of get the gist of it, and you know what to expect, and kind of play off of that.
Yep. I agree with Aaliyah. Like, we have more players on our team that want to win now, so they're very competitive, and so.
Our mindset's a little bit different, and the Big East is going to be a brutal challenge this year. I think 17 of the top 22 players in the league are seniors. So, and I told these two when we were at Media Day that we are not going to out-experience anybody. We're going to be one of the youngest teams, but we're going to have to out-want them and outplay them within our system. And we've shown signs of being able to do that. Now, we're not there yet. We had a nice scrimmage the other day and played well. And that we can see the bright spots, but we know we have a lot of work ahead of us. And I think the good news is everybody's willing to do that.
So out of your newcomers, anybody specifically impressive in the early going?
Out of the freshmen? Yeah, Townsend had a nice game. The good news is she scored about as many as she gave up, so that's a wash, which is typically about the way it goes. And Lauren Wasselson had a nice game and showed some signs. They're just competitive. They're not worried about too many other things. They're not thinking. And then the other two, I think, are going to be there. They're thinking right now.